Welcome everyone to the School of Radiance podcast. We are going to be focusing on in this live Q&A recording here on holiday skin tips and also some last minute savings in regards to biohacking, skincare, one-on-ones, tutorials, and the membership. This is an exciting time of year because this month we have, holidays happening and holiday parties, and we're seeing more people and going to more things. And also there's some additional treats that we may be indulging in this time of year, especially with all the baked goods and maybe a little bit more alcohol, getting out of your routine just a little bit to attend events and see and engage with lots of people, because this is a great time of year to do just that. That kind of brings everyone together. We're inside a little bit more. It's cozy time. I just want to encourage you. Oh, hello, Carrie. Great to hear from you. Carrie says, your hair is lovely today. Well, thank you very much, Carrie. I actually am using some products that are new to the skin shop. They're just about to get received in the warehouse. And I actually have some of them here. I wasn't really planning on showing this, but if you are blonde, I have some exciting news for you, because I've been on the hunt for clean hair care, skin care forever, as you know, and did have some difficulties finding a clean purple shampoo and conditioner for those of you with blonde hair or those of you with silver, more mature hair. And that is the So Pure Cool shampoo and conditioner. If you're watching this is what it looks like. And the reason I really like it is because it's a great formula, and it's also in minimal packaging, which I love it when companies do that. I mean, I've done the same thing with my skincare line that is available, the Always Radiant skincare line on my skin shop. It basically just comes with a shrink wrap over it. There's no excess box, there's no fancy packaging. I designed the label myself. I did all this to actually keep costs down, but also keep waste down. And I do respect companies that do this. Say, for example, you go to a department store and, like, for example, like Nordstrom's or other stores like CVS or Sephora, you're going to see a lot of pretty packaging. And this creates excess waste, but it also creates excess product costs that you end up paying for. And Carrie says, yes, love no excess packaging. And these are things that I take into consideration for you when I'm looking for and pre-vetting the best of the best, and also in the creation of my line, which I'm so incredibly blessed to have done without any outside investment. So what that means is I couldn't have done this without all of you. And this has been a dream of mine to create my own skincare line for many years. And it has taken me, as many of you know, years of research and development, finding the right lab, the right packaging, all of that. Obviously, the formulations, super important. So the formulations are excellent. The packaging is nothing fancy, and I'm totally okay with that. But what I'm getting at here is I was able to do this only through the support of each and every one of you, through booking your one-on-ones with me, joining my tutorials, joining the membership, and of course, continuing to order products through me. And just FYI, if you haven't yet taken advantage of my Black Friday sale that I am extending with Cyber Monday and all of that, the code to use that is now available site-wide. For some reason, I had the wrong code up for tutorials and the membership. The promo code site-wide at theschoolofradiance.com, so skincare, one-on-ones, tutorials, membership, is Radiant BF 20. So Radiant BF 20 is the promo code that will allow you to get 20% off site-wide. And this is just a great way for me to give back to you. I know this has been a tough year economically in the economy worldwide over the last little while. And I'm just really grateful for each and every one of you. Again, with the creation of my line, I didn't have to work with external investors that may potentially want to tell me to use lower quality products to get better margins on the product creation and the formulation creation. And I do have a lot of friends who are, quote unquote, bigwigs in the space of creating products. And as soon as you bring in external investors, they can tell you kind of what to do. And I didn't want that. I wanted to be able to have the direction on each and every ingredient, where it's sourced from, all of that, and the formulations. So we did it. We did it as a team. And I'm just incredibly grateful for each and every one of you. So take advantage of that 20% off. It's going to be ending very soon. I am extending the Black Friday, Cyber Monday promotion simply because I had the promo code wrong and wanted to give you all an opportunity to save 20%, especially on one-on-ones, tutorials, and membership. I do have a little bit more time now for one-on-ones as well. They are important for me to be able to offer for specific guidance. Anyways, enough about that. Now that the announcements are out of the way, I wanted to touch on holiday skin tips. The fall and winter are known as the laser skin rejuvenation season, which means we don't have as much of a tan. And depending on where you live, I mean, first world problem, if you're around the warm sunshine all year round, I mean, God bless y'all. Y'all are living the dream. I lived in the South last year in South Florida. I also lived in Northern California too last year. And this is, one of the things we have to consider when our tan fades. Do you have any snowbird trips or adventures planned or holidays? That is a first world problem and a half in the medical aesthetics space. As, I want to do my intense pulse light or BBL to help, magic erase the reds and browns away. But I have a little bit of a tan because I have a holiday coming up. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that is a big time first world problem. And if you have that problem, consider yourself blessed. Not everybody has that problem. And that is a main thing to consider rejuvenating, is the reds and browns in your skin this time of year. So depending on where you are and what your specific skin needs and goals are, you may want to really just focus on your at-home routine to stabilize the skin first, reduce redness, get some of that pigmentation to fade in and of itself just through an essential skincare routine. And then maybe consider, if budget and lifestyle allows for it, to do some in-clinic rejuvenation using energy technologies to basically help break down reds and browns in the skin and also promote more collagen and elastin. So laser skin rejuvenation is a little bit of a broad sense. There's the Hyundai technology and then there's the Ferrari technology. So just because you're hearing about advertisements on different rejuvenation tech out there, it doesn't mean it's the best. In fact, I would beg to question, in my experience since 2011 as an aesthetic nurse, performed thousands of treatments and international clinical trainer for other aesthetic doctors and nurses and their teams, is that oftentimes the best products and the best rejuvenation technologies and tools aren't heavily marketed. They actually put more of a budget and emphasis in their research and development and support and education. Just a little kind of behind the scenes there. So to clarify, this time of year is the best time of year to do the in-clinic stuff to take care of the sun damage from your glory days in the sunshine in the spring and summer months. The other things that we oftentimes want to look at and pay attention to just a bit more, and keep your questions coming in the live chat here on holiday skin tips and sort of like last chance sales. We're going to talk a little bit about ways to incorporate more biohacking as well with some of the savings that are happening also. But really, this time of year, we do want to focus on hydration. That's really key. We are exposed to a little bit more indoor heating this time of the year, because we're indoors a little bit more, especially if you're living a little bit more north. We do experience all 4 seasons. And especially with these seasonal shifts, we can get a little bit of an uptick of skin changes. So skin redness and irritation can definitely happen when we go through a little bit of like a indoor climate control change, with turning the heat up a bit more in your home and in your car and things like that. And maybe not getting outside as much and perspiring and sweating and getting that moisture from the outside air, because it tends to get a little drier in the winter months because we're using more indoor heating. Carrie, yes, indoor heat I think is making my nose dry 100%. A little tip for that is do make sure you're cleansing twice a day. And with that double cleanse in the PM, by the way, the Always Radiant foaming cleanser, I'm really excited to say I actually sold out on my first run of it, as well as the eye cream is about to sell out too. So big thanks to each and every one of you for helping make this product launch a success. Don't worry, I have more being made as we speak. So for dryness, keep up with your cleansing. You might want to be doing some exfoliation too, about 2 to 5 times a week. Any areas you're noticing some flaking and dryness, I just want you to use, say, that exfoliating polish on my Skin Shop or the micro polish scrub. I do have more of the complexion renewal pads on their way as well. And they'll sold out with the sale too. But they're going to be in stock probably in about 5 days or so, depending on when you listen to this. And then hydration. You may want to switch to a richer moisturizer, especially in the winter months coming up to the holidays. We still want to have dewy skin, but we don't want our face to look like an ice rink. It's a Canadian reference because I do skate and grew up playing hockey. You may not have known that. I grew up a massive tomboy with a great childhood here on Vancouver Island. Very full, happy, healthy, protected childhood on a small island here. But do exfoliate and bump up your moisturizer. So I do have the heavy moisturizer that's front and center on the Always Radiant skinshop.com. I love that moisturizer. It's got hyaluronic acid in it that can actually penetrate into the dermis. So I paid attention to the quality of hyaluronic acid because a lot of products don't. And the hyaluronic acid molecule in most skincare products just sits on top of the skin. And what hyaluronic acid does is it's hydrophilic. So it will actually pull water from the air to be held onto the skin. But we want that hydration to be feeding and nourishing the skin too. Your skincare should kind of be looked at like your multivitamin for the skin. And it should be doing things not just to make it feel good, but to make it operate in a healthier way. And the Always Radiant skincare products are designed with that in mind to feed and nourish and, of course, hydrate the skin. So switch to a heavier moisturizer. You may want to bump up your serum usage. So the Carbon C60 serum, the hyaluronic acid serum in my line are great. And there's lots of other antioxidant serums that you've probably used that I've recommended for you in the past as well. And an antioxidant serum in the daytime is just going to give your skin a little bit of extra hydration. That's essentially what a daytime antioxidant serum is going to do in the winter. And then in the spring, summer, it just gives your skin a little bit more protection from antioxidants like vitamin C to gobble up those free radicals that occur from the skin from more sunshine, and also the bouncing of the light off the ground reflecting on the face. So you do still want to use your sunscreen in the fall, winter too, by the way. If you're having your photos taken, I do recommend using the primer tinted sunscreen on my Skin Shop. That's a great one. It works as a primer, so it will fill in your pores. And it gives a little bit of like a mattified look to the skin as well. If you're looking for more hydration, the one I have on right now is the Ultra Zinc sunscreen. It's a 20% zinc. It is a little bit cleaner than the tinted primer sunscreen because obviously there's a tint in it and primer quality, so there's extra ingredients. So the Ultra Zinc it starts off white and then it just blends in beautifully to the skin. Put your makeup on over top. I teach you exactly how to do all this stuff in my tutorials for those of you who joined, which most of you here are one-on-one clients and have done the tutorials. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Jody. Kelly. We got 2 Kellys here, and Shada. It's great to see you all here. Keep the questions coming. So for skin dryness, just keep up with your skincare. Add that exfoliation. You may actually want to do an in-clinic rejuvenation treatment, like a facial, for example. But there are specific facials I could suggest that you do in the clinic. And those who have had one-on-ones, you do get those specific recommendations of what to do and where to go. I just have to be careful with making blanket statements on rejuvenation treatments here for free on the show for a couple of different reasons. But for me, if I notice my skin is breaking out a little bit, if it's a little bit dry, I will actually go and do something in the clinic to basically give my skin a really good clean and also have a little bit of a gentle chemical peel done to it. That's a great way to kind of refresh the skin. But you can also do your exfoliation with your scrubs at home with the ones that are on my skin shop. There's two. And you can also do your own peels at home. And before sort of 2020-ish, you really just had to go into the clinic to get peels done. But now, because of that, everybody was at home a little bit more. These skincare companies had to adapt and create at-home peel options. So on my skin shop, I have the AFA, which is a fruit acid gel peel in mild, medium, and stronger forms of it. Start with the mildest form. Same thing goes with your retinol. Once you're done that bottle, then go to the level up. So don't start with the max or like a 1% retinol. You're going to want to start with the mild AFA gel formula and then say like a 0.25% or a mild retinol. I have a couple retinol options. And that's a great way to just kind of induce a bit of cell turnover and help the skin look a little bit glassier. But just a FYI, when you first start using retinol, you are going to experience a little bit of dryness, maybe a bit of redness, and maybe even a little bit of flaking. So you do want to slowly incorporate things like retinols and peels into your essential or basic skincare routine of cleanser, moisturizer, sunscreen, scrub, and incorporating things like peels and retinols and dermal rolling just about once or twice a week to start, and then slowly bumping that up. So utilizing these more advanced things is great to do in the fall, winter months, the colder months, because you're not getting as much sunshine the next day. So this is either a great time to bump up your advanced protocols, which I teach how to do in my tutorials and walk you through that so you do it right. And it's also a great time to do some in-clinic rejuvenation for the reds and the browns, maybe getting some resurfacing done, some deeper collagen stimulation using laser energy technologies to get more collagen happening in the skin. Because when it's a little bit cooler out, we're typically inside a bit more. That's when we can typically navigate having anywhere from 3 to 6 days of redness or flaking, which can happen with some of these deeper resurfacing technologies. I'm a huge fan of focusing on your home care, reducing oxidative stress. We're going to talk a little bit about biohacking and how that can help, and then doing some in-clinic stuff to help with skin health that will all yield a more longer lasting skin health benefit to you, as opposed to say just doing injectables, like just doing neuromodulators like Botox, Xeomin, Dysport. There's a couple other new brands that have come out on the market over the years. I mean, that's going to soften the action of your facial muscles, which, yes, can soften fine lines or wrinkles. And then dermal fillers, say, for example, to the cheeks, the lips, the marionette zone, necklace lines, those horizontal lines in the neck, can be helpful for revolumizing, adding lost volume. However, injectables like neuromodulators and fillers, they don't necessarily make your skin healthier, but they will provide a degree of improvement. This is why I love to take the skin health approach. And full transparency, I started to notice a shift in the industry in about 2017, 2018 with what my clients were asking me about in clinic and also online, because I've been doing online consults forever. And I kept hearing this phrase, I want healthier skin. What can I do to improve my skin health? So I've been happy to see that there has been a little bit of a shift in the desire and the demand of specific types of aesthetic services, but also the mindset of many of you is looking to invest in your skin for the future. And when we stimulate collagen, say at home with our dermal rolling and in clinic with lasers, New collagen forms at about 3 months, and then mature collagen at about 6 to 8 months. So it's kind of like the gift that keeps on giving when you are regularly stimulating collagen in the skin. So the healthier and thicker the skin is for more collagen, and also more clear with reds, browns, and sun damage, you will be finding that you might need fewer, say, injectable treatments and also be able to wear less makeup. And the healthier and more clear your skin is, and the less makeup you have to wear, your skin health will shine through. And especially this time of year when we're maybe going to more events, you haven't seen people in a while, it's great to be able to present your best version forward, especially in pictures and videos and people you haven't seen in a while. Let me know how some of you are doing, especially those of you who are here live, with how you feel like your skin is at this moment. Do you feel like you are on point and dialed in with your routine at home, in clinic? Do you feel like maybe your energy could be improved and maybe even potentially your body composition? Are you feeling kind of like a little bit puffy? Do you maybe wish to have more muscle? Do you wish you maybe were sleeping a little bit better? The energy component is really key here. And if you want great skin, your body needs to be functioning better. Okay. If you wish to slow the aging process, we need to take a couple of steps back to take a good look at our foundation. And what I'm talking about is inflammaging or inflammation. And the way to look at slowing aging is, yes, with your skincare, with your rejuvenation, but also with how you live and the level of oxidative stress or inflammation that your body is dealing with at any given time. And we can think of this like our toxic bucket. If you're a longtime listener, you've heard me talk about this many times. However, if you're new, I'm just going to kind of break this down. Our toxic bucket gets full when we're exposed to toxins in our daily lives: air, water, lighting, electromagnetics, low quality food, and pathogens, and other things like yeast, fungi, mold, heavy metals, and parasites. All of these things fill the toxic bucket. So, say for example, a stressful event happens in your life, a life transition. Life is life, right? Stuff happens, sign of being alive. And we got the peaks and valleys of life, am I right? But when this bucket gets full, it tips over. That's typically when we will see loss of energy, disruptions in our sleep, maybe just not having the same energy we used to. Maybe we start to get a little bit puffy. We're feeling a little bit more stressed out. And we also might get more skin rashes and irritation, maybe a bit of an uptick of things like eczema or psoriasis, dryness to the skin, and also dryness and darkness and redness and puffiness to the eyes. You might even be noticing maybe some more body breakouts. You might even notice that your nails are breaking and you might have ridges in the nails and potentially even a loss of fullness to your hair. These are all indicators that something is going on internally. When things happen internally, it takes a couple of weeks, in my experience, to manifest externally. I can think of back in the summer when I was moving multiple times. I got followed and didn't sleep for 3 days. I was around forest fire smoke. I was in a huge life transition. All good things, don't you worry. And renovating. This was a lot, and I actually ended up having a bit of a skin rash on my neck around my clavicular lymph nodes. And I was actually doing research and development with my products, and I used the cleanser, hyaluronic acid serum, carbon 60 serum, and also the moisturizers, and it actually went away in a week. So I'm kind of like my own testimonial that love these products for feeding and nourishing the skin, even when the skin is going through a tough time. FYI, the recovery spot gel here is actually intended for impaired skin. So say, for example, you get a cut. I was opening a container of tzatziki the other day, and a little plastic container sliced my finger. And so this is the recovery spot gel is intended for compromised skin. I'm also using it as a breakout spot treatment too. But if the skin's under stress, I really, in showing you you're under stress, you need to slow down. And one of the key facets to longer lasting beauty and radiance is living a peaceful and joy filled life. And also, a more advanced layer here is being more in the feminine. And for the guys listening, more in the masculine. And just really taking inventory of the beauty in your life that you have, feeling grateful for everything around you, your food, you have a roof over your head, you have loved ones that care about you, and you're listening to this show. It's a very constructive show to keep you on point, feeling grateful. Noticing the beauty around you, the mountains, the ocean, the trees, the flowers, the beauty and kindness that you're noticing in people around you too. Focus on the good things in your life. These are all key aspects that are actually going to keep your stress levels down a little bit by simply being grateful for everything that you have and the people that you love and all of that. Being in gratitude, also being in the peace, love, and joy emotional states are very conducive for a healthy body and slowing aging. If you're trapped in those anger, shame, fear types of emotions, you really need to snap yourself out of it. And if you're in a woe is me moment, you really need to just kind of almost bypass this a little bit and focus on things that do bring you peace, love, and joy in your life. Really important to keep your eyes on the prize. This is keeping you in a noradrenaline state with your eyes on the target, what you need to accomplish and move through life, instead of a spike in adrenaline and cortisol with different things trying to grab your attention all the time and stress you out a little bit. So if you are wearing a smartwatch, please stop wearing smartwatches. Smart technology is not making anybody more smart. It's actually messing with your blood flow and your nervous system. And I say that lovingly because I know they're popular, and with the holidays coming up, they might seem like a great gift or something fun to ask for convenience and to track your steps and all that stuff. I don't think it's worth it. I really don't. I just what we know about electromagnetic frequencies and Bluetooth actually making your blood stick together and not flow as well. It's not something that I can get behind. All right, Shada, great to hear from you. I feel like it doesn't matter what I do, my skin feels dry. Can you please explain what is your skin routine on a daily basis? I actually did celery detox, made me feel great. I was also doing light therapy for the last 7 years. I love. Yeah, so Shada, it does come down to, say, for example, in a one-on-one session with me, I can take a look at what you're using and also ask you questions about what you're doing in your daily routine that you might not know you're doing wrong. And a really easy way to make sure that you're using your products, you're going through a healthy, streamlined, basic daily routine is to join my tutorials. And in lesson 1, I teach you exactly how to wash your face, perform facial gua sha lymphatic drainage with your fingertips, no tools needed. And then your eye cream, antioxidant serum, moisturizer, sunscreen, and a great makeup look too, because some makeup can dry our faces as well. And then adding things like exfoliation and maybe doing some peels, retinol, specific type of facial in the clinic can all be helpful. But it's also what you're doing, what I'm talking about here now in your daily life to just keep your body on point. I am going to talk about biohacking because you did mention that. And just an FYI, the new year is a huge time of year for people to start doing detoxes to shed the holiday weight from maybe overindulging and things like that. But actually, before doing a detox, if you talk to any detoxing expert, you're going to hear the same thing over and over again. You need to empty this toxic bucket as much as possible. So with biohacking, which is the art and science of modulating your environment to support your biology, what this looks like is drinking filtered water, is filtering the air in your home, is reducing your exposure to LED lighting, and also eating in a way that's specific for your needs. So testing instead of guessing what to eat to actually support your body's epigenetics in a constructive way. So you have your DNA that you get from your mom and dad, And then we have our epigenetics, which is the study of the expression of our DNA, which is impacted by the level of nutrients that we have in our bodies and also the level of inflammation that's present in our bodies, which is basically added to. Inflammation is added to depending on the toxins that are in your environment, which adds to more fullness to your toxic bucket, oxidative stress, and inflammation. So you actually really want to have that toxic bucket as empty as possible for even a month or two by clearing out toxins in air, water, lighting, electromagnetics, making sure you're eating the right foods for you, which the biome test is helpful for that, and then start doing detoxing. And I actually have this kind of roadmap on my biohacking page at the schoolofradiance.com. Just go to the biohacking tab. Pretty much every company, I wanted to highlight this in today's show, is having these major sales right now. And I've seen a number of you get some of the Organifi Shilajit gummies and the Happy Drops. I do want to just mention what the Shilajit does for me is they're these kind of like black tarry gummies. And I kind of played around with the time of day to have them. And I found right before my workout or earlier in the day was a great time of day for me to have them. If I had them a little too late in the evening, I found that they just kind of kept me up because they're really great for performance and energy and just full of minerals. So that's the Shilajit gummies by Organifi. And also the Happy Drops. These are all kind of gummies and they taste delicious. So instead of a candy, why not have something that's helpful for you? And the Happy Drops contain something called adaptogens. And adaptogens help your body manage stress. So when you are in that peaked adrenaline or peaked cortisol state, say just after a workout, have a little bit of honey. Get your glycogen stores replenished. That can actually help to reduce cortisol too, like right after a workout or a stressful event. I probably have like 4 tablespoons of honey a day. Love honey as like a really great clean carb source, actually. But the Happy Drops contain adaptogens, and these help to protect your adrenals. Because when we're stressed out, our adrenals, they're little glands that sit on top of your kidneys, they get taxed. And you've probably heard of people going through something called adrenal fatigue. And having adaptogens, say for example, saffron, ashwagandha, turkey tail, lion's mane, and many other types of adaptogens on the market, are just really helpful and in a way protective when you are going through kind of a little bit more stressful or hectic times, which typically is the holidays. We simply have more commitments and more events that we're going to. We're maybe having more people over, so we're spending more time at the grocery store and cooking and cleaning the house and all of those types of things. We're simply doing a little bit more this time of year. So I highly recommend getting on board with adaptogens and just every day have some adaptogens. And Organifi, I think, has some great tasting ones, and they're all glyphosate free. I've been using Organifi for years. If you're curious where to get it, biohacking page or Organifi.com/Varga, and use promo code Varga to save. So I love the Shilajit gummies for a little bit more energy this time of year, kind of around noon or before a workout for extra energy. And then the Happy Drops too, just to help with the mood a little bit. And then the Glow formulation is really good for skin hydration. Actually, Carrie, to answer your question, because of the tremella mushroom in it, it's actually even more hydrating than hyaluronic acid. And hyaluronic acid, as I explained before, is hydrophilic. It's water loving. It grabs water from the air to keep it in the skin. But we can also internally consume something like tremella mushroom to keep our cells hydrated, to keep our cells in our body hydrated. So something to consider is the Glow formula. That's one that I would say is going to help with hydration in the skin. Really happy that you kind of mentioned detoxing and all of that, because it's really important before detoxing to clear out that toxic bucket. Because if your bucket's full and then say you buy a detox kit because you saw it was marketed to you in the first part of the year, and you go and do a detox, you could get Herxheimer's reaction. I've had it once actually. I was doing a parasite cleanse and I wasn't taking my antioxidants with it. And when we're detoxing, our body's releasing things like, for example, parasites. When parasites die, they release the toxins that are housed in them. And we've actually seen in animal studies that animals with Lyme's disease, when they did a parasite cleanse, the Lyme pathogen was actually in parasites. Cleared the parasites, cleared the Lymes. And the Lyme's disease is a very debilitating autoimmune condition for a lot of people. But a lot of people aren't actually willing to do a detox properly and for the length of time it takes to actually do it right. So a lot of these like weekly detoxes, you're going to kill the mama parasites in the first week or two. But if you don't continue on with the proper detox, and all their babies and all their eggs that they laid, because the mama dies, it sends a signal to the parasite eggs to then hatch. And then you have an even bigger problem. And not to mention the Herxheimer's reaction of just the body getting overloaded, the toxic bucket getting super full, and Herxheimer's is like itchy eyes, irritation to the eyes, and I had full body pain. I felt like I was flat out in bed for about 2 days, just in a lot of pain, and my body was just going through a rough time during a cleanse because I didn't take enough antioxidants to help gobble up the toxins and free radicals that get released when you are doing a cleanse properly. But when you do a cleanse properly, you come out on the other end and you're like, wow, I didn't know how good I could feel. That's how I felt the first time I did a parasite cleanse. And if this is giving you the heebie jeebies, well, it's a fact of life. 80% of you listening have parasites. That's a pretty standard North American statistic coming from parasitologists, those who study parasites. In my nursing degree, we had a page on parasites, and it was only in third world countries. Newsflash, parasites is in a lot of your meat, especially pork, especially salmon. And so I actually pretty well stopped eating sushi and raw oysters. And I mean, I love that food. It's just not worth it to me to get parasites. Also, in a lot of produce, you can have parasites on produce as well. So do make sure that you're cleaning your produce, fruits and veg, with a mixture of, say, vinegar and baking soda, letting it soak in there, then rinsing it really well. Cleaning your produce is super key. Cooking your meat well, making sure you're eating good quality meats as well. Low quality meats like salmon, farmed salmon in particular, so always go wild. If you look close, you can actually see parasites wriggling around in them. I know it sounds disgusting, but if you want great skin, this is kind of what it takes. You need to have your skincare dialed in. You need to have a reduction of oxidative stress, so biohacking your environment. And also just really keeping dialed in with your self-care and how you're eating and how you're feeling yourself and keeping your mind right. This might sound like a lot all at once. And, it is a lot. It's a lot to kind of take in and be like, wow, I didn't know that getting great skin included all of this. I thought it was just, use this moisturizer, get this laser treatment. No, if you want lasting beauty, there's a lot more that's involved. The membership is where I go very deep into a lot of the behind the scenes things that I do that I've learned from my thousands of patients over the years. Why are some people thriving more than others? And it's a lot of things that they do in their daily life. But then there's also this lost art of a beautiful feminine radiance that is really my passion to teach. When we're in this energy, just life is full of more peace, it's full of more beauty. We tend to attract more of what we desire and receive that. So there's a lot of things that the way that we navigate life can really support our physical form. And of course, when our physical form is supported, we're going to be more beautiful. We're going to have better skin. We're going to have more full hair. We'll have more fulfilling personal and professional life. Membership is very much a tight container where nothing is off limits and no holds barred on my end with what I really do behind the scenes. So for the biohacking side of things, do take advantage this year. If you're wanting to, say, get a water purifier, air purifier, blue light blocking glasses, the Viva Rays are on my biohacking page. Some of these adaptogens like the Organifi products, a PEMF mat, a sauna. If you're looking to get some of these more higher ticket items, this is the best time of year to save, and just use the links that I have on my biohacking page, and those savings with the promo code, and then additional savings through the companies on their websites. This is the best time of year to start to invest in a couple of things just to get your house set up right. And there is one lesson in tutorials where I take you into my home and actually show you how I set this all up. And then a bit of a deeper dive lesson in the membership on biohacking the physical form, but also the energetic and spiritual components of us as well, that I would say is equally important. Actually, to highlight the importance of this, our body and even our universe is like 70% space. The physical component that we can touch and feel, we're actually made more of space than we are of physical particles and matter. Dark matter, or quintessence, the space between, or the fifth element, it constitutes about 70 to 80% of our universe. Ask any astrophysicist or theoretical physicist, and you can learn about that stuff online. It's pretty remarkable, actually, that most of what we touch and feel in our daily life is mainly space. So the way I see it, we get that space optimized that's in between all of our particles and atoms and protons and neutrons and quarks and all this stuff. We get that stuff optimized with our emotions, keeping our body, mind, spirit energy as pure as possible. Everything in your machinery is just going to operate better. And that's really what radiance is. It's the electromagnetic projection of the quality, basically a reflection of your inner operating system out to the world, of just how good you're operating in regards to your body, mind, spirit, and energy. The radiant body in Ayurveda is the 10th body. And it's this kind of like emission of really how you are into the world. So if you're looking to really present your best version forward, there's a lot more to do than just eating an apple a day and using skincare and doing some in-clinic rejuvenation. Actually, this stuff I can't rejuvenate. And you actually have to learn how to do it yourself. And the more you know yourself, actually, the more clarity you have in general on things, that's actually what gives a lot of peace, which is really great. I find that clarity is a key component to peace. And why I'm mentioning this now with getting ready for the upcoming holiday season, if you're listening to this like live and right after this podcast is released, you have to have clear boundaries on what you choose to say yes to, and also maybe sometimes saying no, so that you can continue to stay dialed in with your self-care practices, with eating great, getting lots of sleep, making sure you're getting your physical activity in, and rest time, whether that's reading or doing something fun. Like for me, it's playing piano, it's playing the guitar. I like making healthy food and having my friends over and just having fun. Have more fun, everybody. There is nothing worse than looking at someone who's grumpy pants and their eyebrows are furrowed. They just have this like terrible, dark, heavy demeanor. Nobody wants to be around a negative Nancy. Everybody wants to be around a positive Patty. Okay? Just an FYI, your emotions and your energetic state do have a major impact on your beauty and the way that you look and the emotions that you are exuding. Carrie says, love salmon. What was the best? Yeah, great question. Is wild caught salmon. Fresh, wild caught salmon. I live on Vancouver Island. It's really easy for me to get access to wild caught salmon. I typically have fish maybe 1 or 2 days a week, and the rest is beef, bison, venison, a lot of eggs, minimal chicken, and then another fish option so that you're getting a lot of those omegas. You actually can get omegas in lamb as well. Sardines is a really cheap, economical way. I think you get about 20 grams of protein in like $3 or $4 tin can of sardines, which is great. Just make sure that it is in, I find the best tasting sardines are in spring water, and you just want to watch any oils or flavorings that those sardines might be in. I used to think that sardines were disgusting. Yeah, Carrie. Lamb, yes. Sardines, yuck. You just have to get the right can of sardines. And I find the better cans or tins of sardines are in spring water and they're fillets. Actually, the bones and skin with sardines, you're getting more minerals that way. And yeah, you're going to kind of be chomping on a couple small bones. But it's an economical protein source. And for the best flavor with sardines, spring water sardines and the fillets are going to be the most palatable. Don't knock it till you try it with like actually a good can of sardines. And yeah, this is also the time of year to do say some stews, right? I did a stew the other night with stew cut beef and what else did I put? Venison? No, lamb. It was beef and lamb stew chunks and then a pound of bison. This was like a very high protein stew, like warm, cozy foods. This time of year is great. More on sort of like nutrition and fitness and other lifestyle things like that. That's all covered in the membership where I really get into that. Because if you want great skin, you also need to fuel your body effectively with having enough protein and collagen. Research shows that we want to have about 10 to 12 grams of collagen a day to actually make a visible change on the skin. So that's 10 to 12 grams of collagen a day. Organifi has a really great unflavored collagen as well. And I weigh about 130 pounds. I might weigh more now that I have so much more muscle on me. I might weigh like 135. I'm 5'7" and a half, 5'8" ish. And I'll have about 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight a day. And I have so much more energy. I feel great. My skin looks better. So if you're kind of struggling with like thinning looking skin, dry skin, get your collagen intake up, scoop of collagen, a scoop of protein in your coffee. It's a great way to do that. And make sure that you're having about 30 to 40 to 50 grams of protein per meal. And really kind of go easy on the carbs, carb source that could be good for you. Well, I can't even say that really. Test and set a guess what foods you should be eating, and that's the Viome test kit as well. The huge sale on that I just saw too. So great time of year to take advantage of sales. So the Black Friday, the School of Radiance sale, that code is RadiantBF20. Save on your skincare, your one-on-one tutorials, and membership. The sale is ending soon. And also save on all your biohacking stuff. Some of the pieces of tech that I mentioned earlier in the show that you might want to start accumulating in your home. And when you have this stuff in your house, you don't even have to think about it anymore. Your air purifiers are always going. Your water that you're drinking is already purified. You have your blue light blocking glasses. You have the silver threaded EMF protective bedding on your bed. You don't even have to think about it. And the way that you're eating, you've tested instead of guessed what you should be eating to better support your body instead of following the latest fad diet. I will say, though, that I continue to love the results of a primarily carnivore-based diet. My stomach just does not feel as good. I kind of get more bloating and things like that if I have more things like bread, potatoes, and carbohydrate. And vegetables, get really clear on which vegetables you're eating. Test instead of guess so that you're not eating vegetables, certain fruits and vegetables that are actually contributing to inflammation in your body for one reason or another, because you might not be able to break it down effectively. So that's why I like Viome. It tells you your superfood, enjoy, minimize, and flat out avoid foods to eat for your body at that point. And in 6 months, you can retest and then see which foods can potentially be reintroduced. Any final questions here before we conclude this live Q&A on holiday skin tips and sort of like how to save during this time of year with the biohacking sides of things? And the other thing is I did a whole lesson in the membership on energy saving strategies so that when you do go to engage with people, sort of like how to best communicate, establishing good boundaries around your energy, lots more. I do a cute little side braid hair tutorial as well. I'll give some style tips, holiday looks. That's all membership stuff. But in general, for those of you tuning in here for free on the show, just be okay with sometimes saying no. and make sure that you are continuing to sleep well, you're eating well, you're staying hydrated. For women, 2 to 2.5 liters of purified water a day. For guys, maybe 3 liters. Make sure it's purified. Move your body, exercise. You will have more energy when you move your body, exercise, and lift weights. Balance your exercise with cardiovascular training, so cardio, strength and flexibility, so yoga, Pilates, stretching, and weight bearing exercise, so strength training, lift and heavy, whether that's with weights or whether that's with your own body weight, because it's really good for your bones and to get that muscle mass up. It's going to keep your metabolism revved up as well. And it's great for your hormones. It's great for energy. So even if you're tired at the end of the day, do something to move your body, even if it's the 30-minute walk after your evening dinner. That's also going to help with your blood sugars too, because if your blood sugars are off, you're going to actually get like little scrapes in your blood vessels of the endothelial lining. And that's kind of low-grade inflammation. Certain foods that are high in oxalates also do this. And so that's why I don't eat things like kale anymore, for example, and other certain foods. Your biome test will kind of give you insights into which foods are going to be better for you than me kind of saying what works for me. But I'm super conscious of avoiding things high in oxalates and lectins, all sorts of different foods that I know are going to be inflammatory for me, and stay super light on the alcohol, everybody, because alcohol is like a straight up toxin. It's not great for you. So go easy on the alcohol. Maybe go for like a tea, or when I'm out, I'll get hot water, honey, and lemon instead. All right, that's a wrap. We kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent, but I know you're all here for it. This is really high value information to not only help you look great, but also feel great, because when you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you look good. They all go hand in hand. We don't just want you to look great in a picture or in a video. We want you to show up and just exude this beautiful energy, this thing that I call radiance. That really is my passion to help you teach. Carrie says happy holidays to you too. And all of you who are here live, and for those of you who are catching the replay, love you so much. Send me an email, info@theschoolofradiance.com. If you're kind of new here, you do have the ability to book a 15-minute kind of get to know me call, and it can provide some direction on how to support you. Check out the links in the description of this episode. Subscribe, share this show with friends or loved ones that are kind of also on this high vibe radiance train. The world needs more better operating people, don't you think? And by you listening, you are on track for that. I'm just kind of here to give you little nudges and things for you to just continue to do so that you stay on track, and that you live a purpose-driven life, get the most out of life by looking and feeling your best. This is not for everybody to actually get the most out of life and enjoy life. Some people are just on autopilot. I don't think that's you. The fact that you're here. And don't underestimate the power of body, mind, spirit, energy practices for longer lasting and deep beauty and reducing oxidative stress and inflammation. But it doesn't start with just getting a red light therapy panel. If you're like, oh, biohacking, red light therapy panel. No, start with purification first. Get the inflammation lowered, and also clear out the noise energetically around that might be around you. That's people, places, things. Very important, so that you are as pure as possible, because radiance, one of the key tenets of radiance is purification. And not everybody's willing to do the work, but those who do simply look better and have better lives and relationships, and oftentimes make more money too. I love you all so much. Thanks for joining me here on the School of Radiance podcast and asking your questions on holiday skin tips. Keep it hydrated, exfoliated, maybe add an antioxidant serum, maybe do a specific facial in the clinic, do some of the rejuvenation for reds, browns, and more collagen. If you want more specific winter skin tips, join Winter Tutorials. And happy savings, everybody. I'll see you again right here on the School of Radiance podcast.